your chapter is Know Your Computer, and in this lecture you will understand a better understanding of the functional components of computer. So I prepared a presentation especially for you. This is basically inside of the computer. We call the motherboard. Personal computer, PC stand for personal computer, and it's a motherboard of the personal computer. So normally you see a look at the brain of the computer, the motherboard. Basically it's also known as the CPU. The motherboard contains a CPU and its associated components. Inside the CPU, the motherboard, RAM, ROM, CMOS memory, the CPU and expansion slot. The overview of this presentation, you have to study that what is inside the PC, the motherboard, especially your topics are RAM and ROM and CPU. But you have to consider all these are the all important parts of the system. The motherboard or the CPU is also called the brain. The types of memory that you have to study in your chapter, that is the RAM and ROM, and the processor, CPU, central processing unit, as I told you in my lecture. So students, here is a picture of the complete CPU box or the central processing unit or the system. Basically we say that it's a complete system of your computer. Without this system, your monitor and keyboard will be out of order. It will not work without attaching in this. Okay, so here this is the CD-ROM drive. It's mentioned by red line. Hard disk drive, this is the hard disk drive. That is a CD-ROM that you insert from the upper part of the system. Floppy disk drive, that is the floppy disk drive, but nowadays you don't need to have this drive, you use the CPU port. These are the wires. Are you watching this white? You know the connection and the connectivity and the merging of some bells type. This is, we say, the wires and the ribbon cables. This is the power supply, students. Here you will switch on and turn on and switch on and off your computer, and that is the motherboard that you saw in the first slide, and that is the sound and the network cards, NIC card. Okay, so that is the inside picture of personal computer. The most important part of the CPU or the PC is the motherboard. It holds what? The processor chip, memory chips that handle the input and output, the expansion slots for connecting peripherals. What are the peripheral devices? All devices that we can easily attach to the system, these are the peripheral devices. Some chips are soldered onto the motherboard permanent and some are removable, so they can be upgraded. Okay, so we can say that our system is the multitasking for permanent and upgraded or the removable accessories. This is the complete introduction and the short introduction of motherboard. Okay, here you are watching. I am just telling you in the next slide what do you have in your book. You just have a good understanding that what is going on inside the system. That is some important name like ROM. ROM can be inserted here inside the system, and it's a complete motherboard. These are the PCI slots. This is the south bridge, northern bridge with heat sink. This is the hard drive slot. This is the DRAM memory slot, power connection, CPU socket, CPU heat sink, and these are all connectors for peripheral devices. Like for example, audio, you use the speakers and mic both. So these are the slots can be used here, and also the Ethernet, serial port, USB. Okay, that is the AGP slot. You can use for AGP slot, and that is the backup battery. Come on, next slide. Okay students, as I defined you in my lecture that what is this chip. This is the chip, and that is we call the microchip. In first generation we use the vacuum tubes. In second generation we use transistor, but in third generation we use ICs, integrated circuit. Nowadays we also use this chip, integrated circuit, and small ICs. This chip microchip is an integrated circuit, a thin slice of silicon crystal packed with microscopic circuit elements. For example, wires, transistors, capacitors, and resistors. And it's a picture of the ICs and the small chip. Okay, that is the live, and that is the graphics image. It's a complete motherboard picture. The read-only file, read-only memory, chip, that is here. Expansion slots, these are expansion slot. You can add and subtract RAM memory or the expansion slots if you want to expand your memory. That is the random access memory. You may insert here, and this is the complete RAM. Right now it's built in this motherboard, and that is the processor chip. Like for example the CPU, that is we call the chip. Okay students, here is a RAM that I told you in my lecture, in my class. That is the random access memory. Random access memory, RAM stands for random access memory. RAM is used to hold programs while they are being executed and data while it is being processed. RAM is a volatile memory. Volatile means when you switch off your computer, all data will be vanish, all data will be removed. That is mean of volatile, meaning that information returned to the RAM will disappear. Okay, the same thing when the computer is turned off. It's all categories of RAM. RAM contents can be accessed in any random order. Okay, these are all pictures of RAM. By contrast, a sequential memory devices such as magnetic tape forces to the computer access data and fixed order. As I told you in my lecture, that the computer languages depend on 0 and 1 form, that is we call the binary language, because it has only 2-digit base language. So that is the 0 and 1, and that is the complete address. Like for example, in RAM reads these addresses, and through these addresses the RAM studies that what the data has been typed through the keyboard, and these addresses then processed like by the data bus. So in this picture it's a concept that how does the RAM storage work. Each RAM location has an address and holds 1 byte of data. Eight bits. Okay, if I count that how many bits are there, so let's count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So that is the 8 bits data. That is I wanted to tell you. Come towards next slide. How much RAM is enough? Computers typically have between 64 to and 512 megabytes. MB stands for megabytes of RAM. This is the storage and limitations of RAM. RAM can access the speed can be fast as 8 nanoseconds. It means that 8 billionth of a second. The right amount of the RAM depends on the software you are using, because every system has its own specification. You can install extra RAM. Students, I show you extra expansion slots, so you can use these slots, and when you insert the RAM, there is also slots to install extra RAM, so you can increase your storage memory. Okay students, that is the ROM. That is the also type of the memory. ROM stands for random RAM stands for random access memory and ROM stands for read only memory. And what is this category? This ROM is the type of primary memory. Basically we are working and we are studying here two types of memory in your chapter, primary memory and secondary memory. So in primary memory there are two types of memory, RAM and ROM. So in this chapter, read only memory can be read but not changed. For example, if you have read the data, like when you switch on the computer, it's a complete picture of ROM. Are you watching? It's non-volatile storage, means the data has been stored permanently. It's remember its content even when the power is turned off, and you see all the information when you turn on, switch on your computer. ROM chips are used to store the instruction a computer needs during startup, called the firmware. Some kinds of the ROM are PROM, EPROM, double EPROM and CD-ROM. These are all stands and we will study later. The CPU, Central Processing Unit, is the chip on the motherboard. Acts like a computer's brain, like a human brain in a body. It does calculation and coordinates the other motherboard components. CPU example, the Pentium and the Power CP chip. The CPU is also known as the processor or the microprocessor. These are the different types of the chips available. That is the Pentium chip, this is a Power chip PC, Power PC chip, and this is a chip fan. You usually use inside the system. These are all found in the system. You have heard about IBM. IBM stands for institution of business machine, and it's a chip, it's mentioned, and it's built in on that and pasted the IBM chip. These are actually the processor chip of the CPUs. The CPU and the RAM. So let's have a connection, that what is the connection between RAM and CPU. The data is transferred through the RAM and then moves to the CPU, and then CPU resend and communicates again with RAM, that we call the process data. The RAM contains data and programs. This one here. CPU process the data, central processing unit, that's why we call it the processor. What is the function of data buses? The data bus, basically this is the data bus. The data bus transports the process data to the RAM so it can be stored, displayed or output. Let's have the function and action in CPU. That is the example of, for example, if you type 4 plus 5, so how does the function of the CPU? It adds 2 number, but how? There is a instruction pointer in control unit and it adds 2 number. What does the function of RAM? Add 2 numbers, put results in M3 here. So that is the result, convert between RAMs, registers inside the RAM. Address 1, address M1, address M2 and address M3. Okay students, in this picture there is a input output ports, and that is we call the IO ports. Input output, IO stand for input output. What do you see normally behind the system, or usually just like left and right buttons, corners on the laptop, you find these kind of the ports. These are the pinkish and the purple port, usually called the parallel port. This color usually found in these ports, and these are Ethernet port, usually for the internet purposes. And what is this? The IO port, that is you use for the speakers, mic and some other audio videos. This is the serial port, you may use for the mouse, serial port and USB port. These are the USB port, you may insert the USB universal serial bus. And this is the VGA port, video graphic adapter, and that is the personal system port. So in your book there is a table, and here there is a table. I am going to explain this one, that your memory is divided in primary memory and secondary memory. So what is the primary memory? Primary memory is distinguish between the RAM and ROM, or you can say that it has been divided into 2 memories, RAM and ROM. That is we call the primary memory. And what about the secondary memory? In secondary memory you studies the compact disk, hard disk, floppy disk and flash drives. What is the difference between RAM and ROM? So let's have understanding between RAM and ROM. RAM stands for random access memory, while the ROM stands for read only memory. That is the first one difference. It's a temporary. Second one is the temporary memory. It's a permanent memory. ROM is the permanent memory. Number 3, it's a volatile in nature. That is the information stored in RAM is designed to clear when the computer is not on, while ROM its non-volatile memory, that is the information stored in ROM, is not clear when the computer is not on. So it means that the data is permanent in ROM. Here number 4 difference, it's the main internal storage area that a computer uses to run programs and store data. It is also called the read and write memory. Here is the 4 difference. It's a built-in computer memory that can be read by a computer but cannot be modified. It is a memory unit that can only be read from. So these were the differences between RAM and ROM. These are the output unit. Here you will study the liquid crystal display LCD projector. So usually see that we found in our computer lab this LCD projector, that is stand for liquid crystal display. What is the function of liquid crystal display? Output from a computer can also be viewed on a large screen or the flat surfaces other than the monitor using an LCD projector. It is used for showing PowerPoint presentation in many organizations. Next is the plotters. These are the output devices used for making high quality graphics, charts, diagram, maps. For example, plotters use an inkjet or ink pens to create the desired output on paper. There are different types of plotters available: inkjet plotter, flatbed plotter, and the drum plotters. So these are the pictures of inkjet plotter, flatbed plotters because it's in the flat condition, and that is the drum plotter. There are some small drums found. Okay students, here we have the lecture of the functional unit of the computer. In order to watch the next lecture regarding the organization of the software, you have to subscribe this link. And if there is a confusion, so you can go through and view this video so that you can understand in a better way. Thank you.